The words hung in the air, heavy, suffocating. My husband had an affair. Years ago. The revelation was a physical blow. It knocked the wind from my chest. I struggled to breathe. The world, once vibrant and full of promise, turned gray. It felt like the floor had vanished beneath my feet. I was falling, endlessly, into a chasm of disbelief and pain. This was not my life. This could not be happening, but it was. The truth, brutal and unyielding, had arrived. The timing was a cruel twist of the knife. He chose to tell me this, or rather I discovered this, not long after the birth of our child. When I was at my most vulnerable, when my heart was wide open, overflowing with love for this new life we had created. Looking back, the signs were there, faint whispers of unease, little inconsistencies I had brushed aside. I wanted to believe in the fairy tale. I came from a background where I yearned for stability, for a love that felt safe and secure. I had poured all my hopes into this relationship. Perhaps I had been too eager, too willing to overlook the subtle warnings. I chose to see only what I wanted to see. A loving husband, a happy family, the dream I had always craved. Our relationship began with an intensity that felt intoxicating. He was charming, attentive, he made me feel like the center of his universe. I mistook this intensity for depth, for genuine connection. There were moments, fleeting and quickly dismissed, where a flicker of something else would appear, a certain coldness in his eyes, a dismissive tone. But I pushed those doubts away. I told myself I was being overly sensitive, that I was lucky to have him. I desperately wanted it to be true. The discovery was not a sudden explosion, it was more like a slow, agonizing burn. A stray email left open, a name mentioned too many times, a persistent, gnawing feeling in the pit of my stomach that something was terribly wrong. My intuition screamed at me. For a long time I tried to silence it, to convince myself I was imagining things, because the alternative was too terrifying to contemplate. But the evidence, piece by piece, began to accumulate. It formed a damning mosaic of his betrayal. When I finally confronted him, the denial was immediate, vehement. He turned it back on me, accused me of being jealous, insecure, paranoid. He gaslit me with such conviction that I almost believed him. I started to question my own sanity. Was I making this up? Was I the one destroying our marriage with my suspicions? He was so convincing, so indignant. He played the victim masterfully. For a while, his denials created a fog of confusion, a desperate hope that I was wrong. I felt utterly trapped, like a bird in a gilded cage. He was the primary earner. I had just had a baby. My career was on hold. The thought of leaving, of starting over, was overwhelming. How would I support myself and my child? Where would we go? The financial dependence was a heavy chain. It bound me to him, to the source of my pain. He knew this, and I suspect on some level, he counted on it. It kept me compliant. It kept me silent for a time. The fear of single motherhood was a constant torment. Society paints such a bleak picture. The struggles, the stigma, the loneliness. Could I handle it all on my own? The sleepless nights, the tantrums, the financial burdens, the sheer responsibility of raising a human being without a partner. This fear was a powerful deterrent. It whispered insidious doubts in my ear. Then came the anger. A slow burn at first, then a roaring fire. It was a righteous anger, an anger born of deep hurt and injustice. This anger was a gift. It was a sign that I was still alive, that my spirit had not been completely extinguished. It propelled me forward. It gave me the strength to fight back, to stop being a victim of his choices, to start making my own. This anger was the fuel I needed to begin the arduous journey of reclaiming myself. Regret was a bitter pill to swallow. I regretted the years I had wasted, the love I had given so freely to someone who did not deserve it. I regretted not listening to my intuition, not standing up for myself sooner. But regret, I learned, can be a teacher. It can show us what we value, what we will no longer tolerate. It can illuminate the path toward a different future, a future where I would honor my own needs, my own truth.